Hello everybody, Grace here, aka Ms. Paperlover. Welcome back to my channel, or a big fat welcome if you are new. I have a journal with me to share with you today, and again I am using some of the prompts from Junk Journal January 2024. If you haven't been around here before, when I use prompts like this, I don't use them in the more normal or regular way. I don't do a prompt a day, I don't do a prompt a page, I just look at the list and see what inspires me at that moment. I think I work with 5 prompts today, maybe from the last week or two of the prompts list. So the first prompt that stood out to me was lyrics. I think that's day 27, which probably is kind of cheating because I am always putting lyrics in my journal, but oh well. And I'm going to put some lyrics in from one of my favourite songs from one of my current favourite bands. If you have heard of them, they're called Sleep Token. I became obsessed with them last year, as many people did. If you are familiar with the band though, I just want to say I'm not one of those feral teenagers who's obsessed with the lead singer. I just like the music. And then one of the other prompts was translucent, and if you are a regular here, you know how much I love to work with vellum, especially just handwriting down on vellum. So I'm writing the majority of the lyrics to the song. It's called Euclid, by the way, in case you are wondering. Straight down onto that piece of vellum. I'm using a Pigma Micron in the 01 size in the brown colour. And then I also printed off the album artwork for their latest album on some vellum to just like have that on the page and also write the remainder of the lyrics that I couldn't fit on the other page. And oh, look at that. It is not truly a Ms. Paperlover video if you don't get a glance of the top of my head in it. Anyway, before that, you may have noticed I was just working with some inks and stuff on a piece of tea-dyed paper. I used some Distress Oxide in old paper and the sprays in tea dye and antique linen just to give it a really old, aged and kind of grungy look. And without realising this, grunge is one of the prompts, so I made it grungy before I even realised. I mean, maybe I'd seen it and was doing it subconsciously, I don't know, but I was more trying to do something in the band's general aesthetic. But anyway, I printed off some of the album artwork, some more of it, and the band's logo on my Fomemo thermal printer, which I'm going to stick down on that little space I've created. But there was one last line of the song that I wanted to add like in larger letters. I started off just doing it in white straight onto the page, but it wasn't working, so I am writing it really roughly with that same pen, like doing a really sort of scribbly all caps thing straight onto this craft paper, and then I will tear it up and sort of separate them out and make it look all sort of patchy. I think it was at this point that I realised that grunge was one of the prompts, so I started to really lean into it. Oh, and in case you're wondering, grungy is day 28 and translucent is day 26. So, oh, I did 3 days in a row, 26, 27, 28. Look at that. I also decided to sort of grunge up my little strip of paper there even more, adding some Distress Oxide in gathered twigs. I'm going to say scrumble it up like that, just make it a whole lot more messy and stuff. And also because I was putting those stickers on the top of it, they would stand out just a little bit more if there was something else going on behind them. You cannot believe how long I looked for that paper though. I wanted tea dye or coffee dyed paper. I found this one piece and then I realised I cannot remember the last time I actually made a batch of tea dye paper. And then I thought about it even more and realised I haven't made any in this house. And I moved to this house in March 2022, so clearly I need to do a batch very soon. Here I am bringing in some of my favourite journaling supplies ever, which I use all the time, my Stabilo all pencils in brown and black to go around those stickers and really make them look distressed and stand out and a little bit rough and grungy, and just I love doing this. It's just really satisfying, something about it. And then I'm going to stick those lyrics, that last line down. Looking at it, I'm thinking maybe I should have done it vertically rather than horizontally. I'm not entirely sure, I'm not decided, but it's too late now, it's done. And then I will also, of course, go around those with the Stabilo all pencils again. I also decided to take a white gel pen and do some sort of dots around those last few words, kind of making them look a little bit like stars. I know that's kind of weird where it's on a sort of greeny brown background, but it kind of gives the impression of them, and as you can see, the lyrics are about the night. So I think it works. If it doesn't work as stars, it at least gives an extra added layer of depth and interest. And then taking the black Stabilo all to create this very thick black border around that section. And the final thing I will do to this page is add in that last piece of vellum that I printed and wrote on as a tip in. I decided to tip it in from the right rather than from the left. So when you initially look at the page, you have all of the lyrics, and then underneath you have the last line and that artwork and everything. When I tip things in like this, I usually add a layer of double-sided tape as well as washi, because I have learned that over time washi does tend to come unstuck. So that layer of tape will make it a lot more permanent than if it was just washi on its own. So that is the first journal spread done, translucent lyrics and grungy. And then I'm going to move on to another page, and I wanted to do something with the nature prompt. So I'm pulling out one of my junk drawers. I have many of these, and they're kind of in categories. Like this one is the more modern brights and floral things. And I decided I really wanted to do something really colourful, really bright, and really celebrating the colours of nature. Even though we are in January and the weather is miserable, there is no reason why I cannot celebrate beautiful colours and nature even when it's cold and horrible outside. So this main piece I'm working on, that is from a Daphne's Diary or a Daphne's Diary planner, whatever it's called. I used one back in 2018, maybe, a while ago, and because I am a human disaster, I only used it for, I don't know, 4, maybe 6 months of the year. And these planners are so beautiful and they have so many lovely things in, and because I didn't even use it for the whole year, I have so many leftovers and bits from it. This piece I'm working on is actually the front cover, which had a pocket built in, but I had to trim it down to size to fit into my journal, so it's kind of working as a more vertical tip in. I did also want to include another prompt in this page, or on these pages, and the one that I kind of noticed was the one that said peeking out. So that's when I had the idea to grab that little vellum piece that says hello in the gold foil and have that peeking out from the little tip in point. That hello it's another planner thing actually. It's from a Webster's Pages planner. They used to have this little hello in the box when you bought one. A Webster's Page is even going still. I haven't seen them for ages and ages and ages. It's kind of mad to me that this channel used to be, once upon a time, mostly planner content, because when it comes to planning these days, I am, again, a complete disaster. You will actually see that in my next video. But anyway, it's not going to be like a planner planning video, by the way, in case you're worried. It's just, you will see. Anyway, let's talk about what I'm actually doing. I wanted to create quite a lot of like interactive elements with this. So we have the bit that folds out, and then I've put a pocket in that little section, and then I want to put a pocket in the main section as well. So we've got all sorts of things that are going to peek out on this page. But before I put a pocket down on the larger part, I wanted to do some sort of collage behind it to have a big area of interest. So I'm just picking up all these little bits and pieces that I have lying around that I took out from that junk drawer to put down. And there was this beautiful purple, is it supposed to be a hydrangea? I don't think it's a hydrangea, it's not the right shape, but whatever it is. So making that the focal point, but with some collage behind it. And then I'm also going to come in with some Stabilo woody pencils in a purple and mint green to go around all of the collage elements to help them stand out, but also give the whole thing just a, some I can't think of the word. I paused the voiceover and I still can't think of the word, but the point is it's a really, really busy page, and doing something like this just sort of brings it all together and helps you see those separate elements. And working with the Stabilo woody pencils on this surface was great actually, because it's a card and it's a coated card. They just glide over so smoothly, and you can use your fingers to sort of make a nice blend of them and not like harsh lines. So I had a great time with this, and I'm going to keep bringing them back, probably too much, because often when I find I'm enjoying doing a thing, I overdo it, but oh well. This paper I'm using here to create the second pocket is, I think I ordered something online and it just came in the box, just as pretty marketing or whatever. I really can't remember, but I thought it was pretty, so I just ripped it out around the flowery shape. And yeah, obviously when you're using a paper thing as a pocket, you do have to be quite careful, especially when you've got like a bit sticking out like that, but it works as long as you're careful. And again, I'm bringing in those woodies to help everything blend in together. These tags that I have created from here, these are also Daphne's Diary. They were a printable, I believe. I do not know when I got them. I don't remember where they're, well, they're obviously from Daphne's Diary, but they must have been pre my shop, because the print quality is not that good and they're slightly wonky one side to the other, so it must have been before I learned how to do all that for my shop. So it may be that I can't find this printable. If I can, I will link it. Then I also just pulled out this scrap of very pretty double-sided pattern paper that I'm going to add some journaling on, and I folded it in a way, in a sort of trifold, where part of it comes over the top of the pocket. I thought it would make it look more interesting, and it also helps with the whole peeking out theme as well. I decided for the front, which I did also use a bone folder to really score down that fold, by the way, just to help with the bulk in my journal. But I decided to just use some black and clear stickers for the front, because it's so colourful and busy inside. Something simpler on the outside I thought would help the whole flow of the overall piece. As ever, when I stick down something translucent, I will use the tiniest possible piece of red line tape so that you can't really see it underneath and it looks like it's just stuck there by magic. So now I'm going to start actually putting some pen to paper and doing some journaling and stuff. Decided the tags needed something to help them stick out a little bit more, so just doing a simple black sketchy border around them on one side and then a faux stitched border on the other. And then onto these tags I am going to add a poem I found, which is basically about like it being winter and I really want it to be spring now, because spring is the best and spring is beautiful and it's my favorite season, and can it be spring now, please, please. And I am using a grey Pigma Micron for this, again in the 01 size, and I am just writing straight down over the pattern. It's a thing I really like at the moment, just having writing straight over everything, like not necessarily in blank spaces. Don't ask me why I like it, I just do. I put the poet's name and the title of the poem in black and sort of did a blocky border around it so it stands out a little bit more and just doesn't mesh in with everything else. Some pretty blue and white twine through those tags, and that's that section done. And then I will move over to the paper that I folded for my more private journaling. First, I wanted to add a little bit of decoration to the pocket I had created. These are some of my own stickers. These are the Spring Floral Sticker Flakes. I'm going around them in a black pen on that pocket just because the background is so busy and it helps them stand out a little bit. And then another sticker on this little piece of paper. Again, that's the bit that's going to sort of fold over the pocket, so you will see that part as well. And then of course I will add some journaling to this. This is where I add my slightly more private journaling. And you may wonder at one point, like when I write on the other side, like what is the point? You can barely even see that. But for me, sometimes it's about just getting it written down rather than being able to read it later. Sometimes I just need the thoughts to come out of my brain and onto some paper. So the fact that it's super hard to read doesn't really bother me. Again, I'm bringing out those Stabilo Woodies in the mint and the purple. I've just noticed how well the mint colour matches my nails. That totally wasn't on purpose. Check that out. I love that so much. Mint's my favourite. Anyway, once that is done, I'm going to stick the whole piece down into my journal, and then the woodies will come back yet again to go around the edges and make the whole thing blend into my journal. And with that, the pages for this video are finished. So thank you so much for watching. If you've been doing Junk Journal January, I would love to know about it. What did you do for these prompts, or just any of the prompts at all? I would love to see. If you have an Instagram or a TikTok or anything like that, please feel free to leave your handle or username. I love seeing other people's work and projects and connecting with people with our shared passion and hobby. Similarly, if you have a YouTube channel where you share, please let me know, because the way that the YouTube Studio app works that I use to reply to comments, you can't like click on someone and then follow to their channel. I have to like then go into the separate YouTube viewing app, and it gets a bit of a faff. So yeah, I would love to know the point being. But anyway, I'm starting to ramble now, so I am going to go. Please leave me a thumbs up if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you haven't already. There's a bunch of you who are not subscribed. I know this. And yeah, okay, I really am going now. Thank you so much again. Goodbye.